Ernest Hemingway was once challenged to write the shortest story ever written. What he came up with was "For sale, baby shoes, never worn." In that same spirit, Smith Magazine challenged its readers to come up with their own six-word memoirs. Now Hamilton Buell is bringing six-word memoirs to schools. This is the Six-Word for Schools student workbook. Students in your class can get their own individual workbook, and by putting their picture on the cover can individualize it for themselves. Now my colleague is going to speak to you a little bit more about what is inside this wonderful workbook.
What's great about the workbook is that it takes students through a process that they're already familiar with, the writing process. We start with exposure, exposing them to six-word memoirs that have already been written. For example, by Taylor Swift, "My diary is read by everyone." So as students read this memoir and are exposed to it, they have to list emotions and think about what connections they can make to not only the memoir, but a person that they're very familiar with. In the next part, students are asked to reflect on their own lives, where they're creating lists of their top memories, the top people in their life, and using a web to really expand on those ideas. As we continue through the process, students have to decide on things like word choice, then being able to select those six words, and have opportunities to revise and think about synonyms that they can use to add more spice to their memoir. At the end, we're also asking them to revise connecting to punctuation. Can they add more meaning to their memoirs using different types of punctuation? Finally, at the end, students will have another opportunity to be able to add different types of visual media to their six-word memoirs. So what can students do when they're done writing their six-word memoir? They can expand on their own backstory. They can add to the six-word memoir that they've written and really include the ideas that they had in their web to create a longer creative piece. There's also another aspect of the process, which is keeping it going. They can continue to write six-word memoirs on humor, sadness, joy, fear, a lot of different emotions, and even add to characters that they already know in different stories. They can continue by even expanding on concepts that they know from school. Can they write a six words for school connecting to explaining addition or describing a circle? The possibilities are endless.
Six-word memoirs are not meant to be hidden away in a workbook. Students can publish their six-word memoirs at www.sixwordmemoirs.com/schools.